overtime. So on Twitter yesterday, some guy said that he thinks I'm too happy, saying OT baby. OT baby!
Well, you're wearing yellow today, Harris, which is actually the official color of joy and happiness.
Is that
so
right?
Yes, it's completely appropriate.
Thank you, Eboni.
Yes.
How do you, queen of the color wheel, not know this?
Because I pick on hues, not meaning, but I love the support.
It's a pageant. That's a pageant. What do you call it? A little trivia piece.
Yeah,
Hues.
I love
What's
that.
a hue?
Hue, you know,
Color.
how you own your hue. So yellow, they're warm and cold colors, cool and warm colors. I like for people to kind of stay in their own lane. Hue.
Yeah. Not like H-U-G-H, like a hue, like a guy.
Yeah, not like
All right, so
a TV show on Fox.
Harris, you are responsible for chat today because I'm being told that my password
has
at Fox News is expired.
Oh.
And right now, I just tried to reset it five
That's the
times.
first sign you're about to get a promotion. I don't know.
I think that's why that cardboard box is waiting for you over there by the door.
Oh, yeah.
I'm kidding.
All right, so
What you got?
let's
Give
start
it to
talking
us.
about the military and where we are with the Islamic State, because you had left us off with kind of a hanging participle, I guess you could say.
First hue, now participle. Yeah.
Can I ask you this, Mike? Because you talked about. Because I didn't get my question out, so here I go, right?
Go for it.
So we could have gotten there faster, right, to this place of phase 2. But they've got this 1, 2, 3 phase, and eventually they get to destroy. Does this slower timeline, though, hurt us and put us in more danger? That's my question.
Well, first of all, phases typically don't go according to plan. It's like an ambush. You know, once the whistle goes and everything falls to hell. And by the way, you should never signal an ambush with a whistle. It's always a bad idea.
Good to know.
But yeah, there you go. Just file that one away. But the time frame that we've had has been extended, has been dragging because we haven't really had a strategy. And so, yeah, I mean,
but that's what they say, right? They say that now we've got this, degrade, disseminate, and then defeat strategy. Is that just rhetoric? What is that?
It's rhetoric, and
okay.
You know, and
but that's not real.
I mean,
Okay.
oops. Well, no, it's real. It's in a general concept. But what I'm saying is, it doesn't. Typically, these things don't fit. You know, a timeline that you set because there's so many variables. There's so many other things that are happening. So, at the end of the day, of course, we can defeat ISIS. And also, the other truth is, of course, it's a long and arduous process, like the president says, because that's kind of how he's designed it.
Okay.
No, but that's how he's
that's
designed it.
So that's kind of my question.
Yeah.
This design, is it flawed, and does it increase our danger? Or does it not? Do you see what I'm saying?
Well, it puts a lot of things in danger. Primarily the locals on the ground who have to deal with ISIS.
Yeah. No doubt.
And you know, part of it is the reality of trying to look. We didn't go straight into the Assad mess at the beginning of that civil war because you know, for a moment we had some clarity. We understood that we didn't know who the opposition forces were, and so we had to try to figure this out. That's a smart move because we already have seen in recent history what it means to support a group, give them lots of sophisticated weaponry, and then step away and watch what happens. It never works out well.
But now the Wall Street Journal is reporting that we're getting ready to arm some of those rebels. So what does that say about guys like, you know, I mean, experts like General Jack Keane, who said in the very beginning, why don't we work to vet these guys and put some weapons in certain rebels' hands? Well, now that's what we're looking at doing all this time later.
Yeah,
like, what changed besides the date on the calendar?
Nothing. I mean, some time passes and you get a sense of who you're dealing with and, you know, what their capabilities and performance are like on the battlefield.
And Russia's gone home and now you have to do something?
Well, Russia hasn't gone home. Russia's got a significant presence out there still. They, you know, that was a PR victory on Putin's behalf by looking as if he was withdrawing certain, you know, elements of his military. But look, we never really seem to learn. This is not going to end well. This is going to be a short-term solution in terms of handing out manpads and other sophisticated weaponry to certain groups out there to carry on the fight. But if we think that those groups, once they get what they want out of the deal, are going to be aligned with our interests, then we're insane. It never works out that way.
We've tried it.
Yeah.
We've tried it.
We've tried it. We've done it. We've seen what happens.
And it's failed numerous times. We've spent a lot of money doing it. We've seen that the ones we've armed have sometimes just said, here, take our weapons, and ran the other way in fear. Speak a little bit. I have two questions for you, Mike. One, about what's happening in the CIA and the intelligence community, how troubled you are by this, the story of the whistleblowers and the intel being scrubbed, but also what you said about Russia. Because the story that's not getting a lot of play is Russia seemingly taunting the United States of America. There are some reports that the president will be calling Vladimir Putin today. Why didn't we react to that Russian? aircraft?
Well, I mean, I think that the White House has the correct measured response to what they're doing. Look, this has happened in the recent past, and it always happens. October of last year, June of last year, there were some fairly close engagements between us and the Russians. It happens out in the South China Sea with the Chinese. So you have to be pragmatic in how you respond. And we do the same thing. We'll get in relatively close and monitor, Russian naval activity or Chinese naval activity. And it was egregious what they did
this was close,
week. Yes,
Mike.
This was very close. And so this was more probably focused on the Polish military and, sending a message to them and to our other NATO allies and to Eastern European countries out there. And it's in concert with sort of this increasing tension over NATO. And we're in an effort right now where we're dumping additional resource out there to try to convince our allies that we're not going anywhere. And so that's causing this reaction from Putin. Nothing ever happens in a bubble in foreign policy. And so there's always some connection.
I mean, they don't want to join us just because it's the right thing to do. All right, we'll move on. Faye Matthews says on the live chat for Politics Now, well, this has become just too depressing. If truth be told, only half of voters, which unfortunately is a small percentage of eligible voters in this country, are happy with the candidates we have on both sides. Very sad for our nation. Any comments?
No, yeah. No, I was just
I want to hear what you say about the intel community.
I was just sitting here
Harris
being sad.
mentioned that story during the show.
There's
we didn't have
a
enough
lot of
time
comments
for you to
like
weigh
that.
in.
Yeah.
Harris asked you about the intelligence agents. What do you think of that?
A couple of things. Director Brennan came out with a very interesting statement the other day, which was very, very unusual and political in nature. And Director Brennan's a very smart, experienced guy, but he's also, he knows how the political game is played. So there was certain meaning he was trying to get across. But he came out and said, look, we're not going to go back to the days of waterboarding. It's not going to happen. And frankly, I would disregard that, instruction from the president. I have never heard someone of that level before, certainly at the agency, but really anywhere, coming out in public to the media and saying I would disregard instruction from the president. So it's a very unusual thing for him to say. But he said other unusual things recently. Director Brennan also said not too long ago that the CIA doesn't steal secrets. We elicit and we obtain. And I'm here to tell you
Aren't you in the business
we
of
steal secrets.
That's
I'm telling you right now, that's what we do. And you better hope we do it well because it's a very aggressive world out there.
Looking into the camera.
So, it's a very aggressive
Brennan.
world out there. Everybody else, the French, the Russians, the Chinese, the North Iranians, everybody's out there stealing secrets. And Director Brennan wants us, to have a happier, fuzzier, nicer, kinder, gentler CIA where we just elicit and obtain. So I'm not quite sure where he's going with all of this. I can't speak to it. It would all be speculation speaking to, what's going to happen in terms of the whistleblower situation and the conversations that are going to take place up on the Hill. But I will say that it is not atypical that typically what happens is the rawest form, the purest form of intelligence is when you're out in the street and you get it from your source.
Right.
When you get it, or you pick up that communications intercept or whatever it may be. At that moment, you've got the purest form of intelligence, and it's very, very important stuff. But as soon as that gets out of your hands as the direct recipient, then it starts going through, like you had referred to during the show, an editorial news-like process where lots of different hands get on
Pull out
it.
the headline, match the video to the words, that sort of thing. Struck88 says every moment young kids are brutalized by these monsters. Every single moment. What in the whole wide world does never again emblazoned on Auschwitz mean? What? I mean, a lot of people have said, as we look at ISIS, and look, they're in competition for guys in Somalia, right? They're competing with Al-Qaeda now to get al-Shabaab to come on their side. I mean, you have evil people across that region of the world trying to recruit faster than ever. I mean, we talk about this all the time, Andrea, how they're recruiting faster than we can kill them. But we said never again. But could you compare this to maybe where we were right before what happened?
Well, there's an element there of not admitting what we've got, right? And people talk about that in various forms. Sometimes they say, well, because you can't even name what the enemy is Islamic extremism, that we can't defeat it. Well, I don't know. I mean, we could defeat it, whatever we call it. But there's a bigger problem. We can't kill our way out of it. And So, I don't want to say this because of touchy-feely. I'm just saying it from an operational perspective, is we have to be able to multitask. So we have to be able to do these things. Yeah. And if we're talking just about here domestically, then, yeah, we've got to be able to calibrate that privacy versus security, pendulum, make sure it lands where we can be effective. At the same time, we've got to reach out more to the Muslim communities. Again, I don't care whether it's the moral thing to do or the right thing to do. It's just operationally effective.
Thing to do.
And so we have to be able to function on different levels. And sometimes it seems like we're not capable of doing that.
Granny Lynn says, Mike is so level-headed and truly knows his stuff when it comes to intelligence and overseas. Wow. He has the sources that people don't know and can figure out how to fix things. Wow.
Thank you.
Talk about a promo.
That's why he's on the outnumbered couch.
I know. That should just scroll underneath every time I'm on camera.
I think it is. I think it will. All right. Well, we're going to scoot out of here. Good to see you.
Thank you so much.
Come back soon.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
And congratulations on your book, too.
Thanks, Mike. Yeah. Thank you.
Can we say the date when it comes out yet?
Yes.
Oh, April 26th. It's a Tuesday. It's going to rock. Okay. Goodbye.